Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Continuing our recitation on Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya's pastimes. Today we start a new Leela where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to show to the world how much he loves his devotees and how much he cares for his devotees. So this will be demonstrated through the pastime of the Lord's dealings with Sridhara. While dancing in ecstasy, the Lord went to Sridhar's house. Sridhar lived in a small broken hut with practically no possessions at all. The only one possession that he had was a metal pot, which too was so old, so dented, so broken. He used it for all his purposes: drinking water, washing his hands, feet. He just had nothing but that pot, which he would take along with him when he had to do all his bodily needs. And this pot stood outside the door of his small broken hut. This pot was repaired so many times that even a thief would not think of stealing it. Now, after the episode of dealing with the magistrate, Chandakazi, and having won with him, the Lord Sankirtana party is coming along on the way, and as you know from the previous episodes, Chandakazi is also happily dancing along with them. The Lord's procession went through various parts of the towns and residences, and now the procession has come to Sridhar's house. The Lord danced in front of Sridhar's house. Then, desiring to teach the world just how much he loves his devotees and cares for his devotees, the Lord immediately picked up that water pot that was kept outside Sridhar's house, and he drank the water in it with great pleasure. As you just heard, even a thief would not dare touch that. It was so old, broken, dented, so many times repaired. When Sridhar saw what Vishwambara, Lord Chaitanya, was doing, he came out running, shouting, "Oh Lord, what are you doing? I am doomed. You have come to my house to destroy me." And the most saintly Sridhar, saying this, fainted to the ground. Lord Vishwambara, or Lord Chaitanya, with great satisfaction said, "My whole existence has now become purified after I have drank the water from Sridhar's pot. Today I have achieved devotion at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna simply by drinking water from Sridhar's pot." Saying this, the Lord shed tears of divine ecstasy. It is a fact that by drinking water from a pure devotee's water pot, one immediately develops attachment for the lotus feet of Krishna. In Padma Purana, it is said that the wise devotee who desires to purify himself completely of all sinful reactions should approach a pure Vaishnava and beg from him his remnants of food. And if this is not available, then at least he should beg some of his water remnants, or he should drink the water that has washed his feet. Upon witnessing the Lord's great affection for Sridhar, the devotees who were there in the Sankirtana party could not contain their emotions. They were all overwhelmed. Seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead drinking water from such a pot which even a thief would not dare to touch. While shedding tears of joy, all the devotees cried out Lord Krishna's holy names. Indeed, Sridhar's house became the place where the highest form of spiritual ecstasy in love of God was exhibited. Just behold the glory of Sridhar's devotion. The Lord drank from his base metal pot which was full of dents and repairs, a pot that was used for many purposes for all his bodily needs. The Lord enjoyed drinking from this pot because he was drinking Sridhar's devotion. Thus, the water was transformed into divine nectar. By this pastime, the Lord taught that everything in relation to a pure devotee is transcendental. One should appreciate the sublime position of a pure devotee and thus be inspired to develop attachment for Lord Krishna. One should never see or view a servant of Lord Krishna in a deprecating manner. The Lord never accepts as his servant a person of little spiritual caliber. Ordinarily, it is not after performing one's prescribed duties it is only after performing one's prescribed duties for many millions of lifetimes, leading a pious life of non-violence and humility, and praying constantly and sincerely to the Supreme Lord for many millions of lifetimes, that a person is awarded this opportunity at the time of death. Placing straw in his mouth, Sridhar knelt before the Lord and said, "What have you done, my Lord? What have you done?" Lord Vishwambara's bliss was uncheckable after drinking the water, and he began to dance ecstatically surrounded by his associates. Nityananda Prabhu and Gadadhar Pandita were like two jewels decorating on either side of the Lord. From Kolavecha Sridhar's house, the Lord proceeded towards the town. Although the Sankirtana continued throughout the entire night, one should not think that this was just an earthly night. So the procession continued from Sridhar's house and it went on for the entire night. But this was not the normal earthly night. Rather, in that one night, several yugas had passed, unknown to anyone. Actually, these pastimes have no beginning or end. They appear before our eyes at some point of time and then they disappear from view. Lord Chaitanya to this day is performing his eternal pastimes in Navadvipa. Those who are pure in their heart can see them constantly by the strength of their pure devotion. The author concludes this chapter by saying, "The transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are the purest form of divine nectar. I pray that these unlimited pastimes increasingly appear in the minds of all living beings. One who derives joy from hearing these narrations will surely come to see the beautiful face of Lord Chaitanya directly." As he passed his time in Navadvipa, Lord Chaitanya could not remain without Kirtana. Indeed, the Kirtana had such an effect upon him that as soon as he heard the holy name, Lord Chaitanya would fall down in ecstasy wherever he happened to be. If anyone, for any reason, said aloud the Lord's holy name, immediately the Lord would faint onto the ground and manifest various ecstatic symptoms. When Lord Chaitanya fell unconscious and his body became perfectly still, the devotees would carry him into someone's house, close the doors, and start kirtana. On some occasions, the Lord would recite the names of the gopis. While absorbed in the mood of the cowherd girls, if the Lord so much heard Krishna's names, he would sometimes become angry and he would say, "Ha! Who is that Krishna? Where is that rogue Krishna? He's a very cunning cheat and hypocrite. He wins the hearts of women, and then when they place their trust in him, he virtually snatches away their lives. Where is that Krishna?" In this way, he would be in the mood of the gopis sometimes when he would hear the names of Lord Krishna. In this way, Lord Chaitanya would speak out angrily to anyone who mentioned Krishna's name in his presence. The Lord spent most of his time away from home at the residences of various devotees. He gave up all familial and external responsibilities, and only sometimes he would go home just to please his mother. Nityananda, Gadadhara, and Advaita never left the Lord's company. We will continue further in our next Leela. So far, so for today. Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranams.